The semi-final, another best of 3 here at the Rising Star Cup. And well, we saw Happy already go through the quarterfinal, and now we enjoy him again in the semis. We're on Amazonia, our first map in the best of 3. And top right, it is none other than Happy, the one to beat, the one to take down. And the big question is, of course, can anybody pull it off? This time, we have a human contender. At the bottom of the map, we have Cruncher. And we actually saw Cruncher already earlier against an Undead player. With a fast expand, he took side down, which was pretty solid. I mean, really good play by him. And he crushed through a semi-final, apparently, where he tore Sonic apart with the 2-0. And from everything that... unfortunately, we couldn't cast. That was played at the same time as we were looking at Happy. But from everything that I've heard, it was apparently a very impressive performance by the human player. So let's see if he can follow that up with a victory against Happy, or if the Undead is just a little bit too strong for him. And once again, if you haven't watched the last game, then again, there is unfortunately no scoreboard. It cropped out a little bit, and I have to fix that, but I don't think I can manage that for this tournament, so it has to be for next one. I'm gonna keep you guys up to date what map we are in all the time, so that you know as we go through the best of 3 series what's coming here. For now, we're obviously on map number 1. And we have an Archmage to start things off with. On the other side, the Death Knight. Shocking, I know. You probably didn't see that one coming either, but Death Knight it is. And let's see what Happy can do here. I'm really looking forward to this. Cruncher played great earlier. He looked strong in this tournament so far. And maybe he is able to pull something off against Happy too. That would be pretty impressive for sure. Already a little bit of an Acolyte hiding over here. Trying to go for a bit of a sneaky scout. Obviously also wants to know what's happening on the first hero front. But then the next question is immediately fast expansion, yes or no? That's another one that you're trying to make sure. But yeah, let's see. Is Cruncher gonna crunch Happy, or is he gonna get crunched here? Well, for now it's just a little bit of experience gathering. Wanna have that Renegade Wizard, and guess what? There's already the Death Knight on the way. It's a little bit of a different dynamic than you have in that Undead versus Undead setup earlier. Obviously, in the matchup here, there's early aggression that you're normally looking for. Archmage actually gets Gloves of Haste, which is pretty solid, especially, of course, now against the potential harass from the Death Knight, because the more damage you can actually put onto him early on, the harder it is for the Undead player to get any kind of reasonable damage out there. A bit of a scout already happening, and as long as he can keep Happy at bay here, and maybe even sneak some experience away, that'd be fantastic. Archmage is not able to get that Forest Troll, but takes one of the skeletons down, and well, that's free XP right there. Level 2 already in for him, so a slight advantage on that front. Let's see what Happy is gonna try and pull off here. I mean, obviously what he's gonna try and do is like get a quick coil in to get the experience, but that's exactly what I'm talking about. The Gloves of Haste on the side of Cruncher is now gonna help him to get additional shots off against the Death Knight, and as long as you keep him low, he won't be able to get too much done there. And that's another skeleton that's already falling, so the Archmage walks away with a bit more experience even. There's no attempt yet to go into any kind of expansion, and the reason is that we have a Town Hall upgrade. So, 1 base rifles it is. Yeah. Same thing up at the top. Well, not rifles, but the tech. A little bit farther advanced for Happy than it is for Cruncher. But Cruncher so far is actually making sure that Happy is not going to get too much done here. The Death Knight is moving in, is trying to get at least a couple of hits in. Ooh, Cruncher needs to be careful here. Eats a bit too much damage from that. But is still able to, the entire time, harass that DK, which is still pretty low here. But again, gets quite a bit of damage in, and the extra experience that the Archmage has brings him now to nearly level 2.5. So we're getting there slowly and steadily. Also, another forward farm. The main base also with another scout tower. Did he just trap his footman there? No, probably not. And Blacksmith is underway now too for the Rifleman. Alright, so in the early game, actually, everything is so far nice for Cruncher. I was able to get, first of all, a couple of the creep spots, didn't lose this entirely, took one of the Forest Trolls at least, so he's on 2.5 now, was able to also pressure the Death Knight a little bit. Happy, of course, is still banking his hopes and dreams onto the quick tech, and then also the harass later. The guy has a god-given macro, and is going to try and use that as a sledgehammer to take down his human opponent here. And as he starts to harass and catch him on the map, it's going to be very difficult for Cruncher to get additional experience. I mean, he always has to watch out for those coils coming through, and the more hits keep coming through Fiends against the Archmage, the more in danger he's going to be as well, because one good coil at the right moment in time might force him to TP out of there. Main base for now. There's at least also the arcane vault that he could use for that. We're still having the first riflemans being built, and on the left side there's the boots of speed. That's a little bit more safety. Who says you can't buy security here? I mean, it's not quite a life insurance that we now see on the Archmage. He would need that too. I mean, the guy is pretty old, so he's going to kick the bucket pretty soon. But he's trying to at least race through the remaining hours of his life here by getting that. And if he is able to weave in a few more auto attacks also against the opponent's hero, or maybe gets the last hits in again with a couple of creeps with that, that would work for him too. Well, there's the first rifleman, but the Fiend also in trouble. They're still in more... I mean, plenty of mana for a coil, and Happy doesn't even bother coiling that Fiend. This is like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That's a layup, bro. I'm going to macro that Fiend out. I'm going to take your Footman down. So the first one gets eaten up by the coil. This one is already down to 96, and there we go. Another coil, another 100 damage, and goodbye, Footman. Level 2 for the Death Knight. Well, level 2 in a little bit, actually. And Happy, again, doing his thing, aka microing his heart out. So there's the Lich on level 1, tech into tier 3, Slaughterhouse immediately being built. And on the other side, we have the Mountain King coming in. Pretty traditional, actually, at this point. Arcane Sanctum for the caster support. And Cruncher has already more or less lost the advantage and experience that he previously had. So Happy is getting everything that he wants from here now. We have Tomb of Agility, there's at least one spot claimed, but Happy is just aggressive right now. Already got the Lich already got the Mantle of Intelligence, so that's +3 on attack. And in addition to that, also a bigger mana pool. Mountain King is now in. That's of course a bit of pressure if you can connect those Storm Bolts and maybe set the Focus Fire up shortly after. But that that Archmage is also kind of low. And this is always the problem. Once the Lich is on the field and the Death Knight is level 3, you are always in trouble when it comes to your Archmage. That guy just has no hit points whatsoever. So unless you find a couple of items or get a quick potion of invulnerability, or maybe a little bit more, he's always going to be a huge liability if at any point he falls in HP, which is the case now. And with 50% HP, a good nuke can definitely ruin his day. Oh, that's a good item, though. That's even more damage on him. Yep. Or, if you want the Mountain King to have that. Yep, but here we go. Creep check is absolutely spot on, and the portal is there. Cruncher doesn't fuck around. He immediately says, like, alright, this fight is done. I'm not gonna stay here. I'm not gonna... If I lose my Archmage, my entire army is dead. Everything dies. So he just immediately goes for the town portal and says, yep, sacrifice the TP, lose a Footman in the process, I can live with that, but at least I can fight another day. So he's starting to move down to the bottom of the map now, trying to get some experience here. Mountain King on level 1 gets the boots. Pass over on the boots obviously makes a lot of sense. Again, if you're usually not really that familiar with Warcraft 3, if you're also watching Heroes of the Storm matches on the channel, boots on the Mountain King get regularly passed over from the first hero once that he enters the arena, simply because he then can connect maybe with another unit and get another Stormbolt out, which oftentimes leads them to a direct kill. So that's why you want to have the boots on the Mountain King once he can pull that off. But also it of course means that if there's no boots on the Archmage, that he is going to be a little bit more susceptible to damage, so you need to keep him in the backline as much as you can. Still has 2 Cloaks of Shadows. I mean, again, he's old, he's cold. This is a summer map, but he doesn't care. You know, nights it gets pretty cold here. It's a little bit like here in Spain and Valencia. It's super sunny during the day, it's really warm, but at night it gets cold, and 1 cloak is just not enough for the old geezer. He needs 2 just to keep a little bit more warm there. But obviously, jokes aside, this one is going to be sold pretty quickly. Sobi Mask. Uh-oh. Yeah, Sobi Mask is in, that's good. This, on the other hand, is bad. There is nothing that he really has with this, and Happy just gets another creep check. Oh my god. He has a Scroll of the Beast too, and there's no way for Cruncher to escape this. Cruncher is going to be absolutely wrecked in this one if he doesn't take care. There's, of course, still the Militia coming in. That's maybe his saving grace here, but oh my god, this is a bad spot for him to be caught. It's fantastic to go straight in with the Scroll of the Beast. There's of course a couple of priests in, but they just don't have enough. They don't have enough mana. There's like 1 peasant after another one falling. The 3rd hero for Happy is already in. Happy on 46 supply against Cruncher on 35. And Happy is absolutely ripping him apart here. 2nd creep check in this game. Lich, on the other hand, that's the difference. He puts the pressure on and forces Happy to TP out. Well done by Cruncher. Lost a lot here. Definitely not a good one for him. But at least he was able to force the Undead player to TP. If that wasn't the case, then he would have just lost the game right then and there. Already a big blow against him, but at least now he has another fighting chance a little bit later in the game. So a triple hero against him already. We have the Dark Ranger on level 2 with the Ring of Protection in the inventory. Happy saves his Lich, still sitting at 49 supply. Also, just double checking, Black Citadel, yes, it's in. Here come additional statues. We also have the castle tag, so both players are now on tier 3. And that, of course, also means that we have a few more items available soon enough. One is the Orb of Corruption for the level 3 Lich. And I suppose we're going to get the Paladin as the third hero. And there it is. Okay. So, there we go. Let's go. Water Elemental on level 2 for now. That's going to be the first target for a lot of the destroyers to dispel. We also have a Wand of Illusion. Mountain King zipping around saying like, oh boy, no expansion this time. He's gonna attack soon, especially with the level 3 Dark Ranger. So our Undead with level 3 heroes, every single one of them, and starts to focus on the Granite Golem. Cruncher is on the way though. That could be actually it. I think this one might have just spotted it. But yep, there we go. Triple Mountain King is better than one Mountain King, obviously. But only one of them can really hit those Storm Bolts. So he's immediately trying to force the attack here. Not a real creep check, since the Granite Golem just says like, hey, I don't want to be in between you guys. I'm not involved in this. Like, leave me alone. Leave me out of this. I don't want to be here when mommy and daddy are fighting. So he moves straight to the right side and says like, sayonara, bros. But with a few more militia coming in, Happy also is very reluctant to take that battle. So waits a little bit longer. Wand of Illusions obviously going to be away soon. There's no militia left, and now Happy is totally willing to take that fight again. Starts to go in, and immediately, of course, with the destroyers, focus their backline here. That's the battle that we've been waiting for. Orb of Fire is in for the Archmage. We have 45 supply versus 47 right now. The Lich gets stunned, but the coil is there when it needs to be. Lich, the primary target. Once again, there's a lot of auto attack damage now also for the Archmage, thanks to the Orb of Fire, but another coil saves the Lich's ass. And they're starting to go just for Rifleman after Rifleman. Happy kills another one, has another Dark Minion in play, gets another one about to be taken down, but the Paladin with a quick Holy Light is able to save it for a little bit longer. The Fiend already getting eliminated too as the Silence comes through, and silences both Paladin and Mountain King. On the left side, the Death Knight with another kill, level 4 for him, and another coil, but this time the Stormbolt is just a little bit quicker. Happy at 40 supply, and Cruncher on 33, starting to fall behind as he loses even more units. Another Rifleman is already down. The statue is still in play as Happy is just moving everything away. And only the heroes survive for the human player. Nothing else except for a few militia is really in this battle. He's trying to send a few more in. Those guys already are saying like, boy, we don't want to be here. We are just fodder at this point. Have you seen that beast? He's taking down one after another. And that's now the Granite Golem that's going to get attacked too. Happy once more, dominant, absolutely dominant here. Dominating. And with this, we have Cruncher coming in from the left side, trying his damnedest to maybe finally get that kill against the Lich. Where's the coil when you need it? The answer is right here. The Paladin is down, and that is just lights out. Another Archer falls, and Cruncher, you can run, but you can't hide, baby. In comes a quick potion for the Lich, as he's once more the target, but he doesn't care. Riflemen are falling all over the place. More militia are coming in, and that is GG as Cruncher yields the field and accepts defeat in game number 1 of the best of 3 semi-final. Game on! Second game. Cruncher couldn't really hack it on Amazonia. Now we're heading into the second map, and it's Concealed Hill. To the top right of the map in red, we have the human player. He was a little bit unfortunate on the last map too. I mean, he got creepjacked twice and was somehow able to wiggle his way out of it every time, but of course he suffered losses, and his opponent, starting at the bottom left, he capitalized on it without showing any mercy whatsoever. Yep, Happy playing another fantastic game here, great micro, and all the attempts that we've seen from Cruncher to nuke Happy's Lich just failed. Those coils were always there when they needed to be, and of course also the additional potions of invulnerability that we've seen on the Lich coming through as the Stormbolt nearly hit the old geezer in the head. But yeah, great performance by Happy. Then again, Cruncher with a pretty solid game considering how he was creep checked several times. But his attempt to go into a one-base play here definitely didn't quite work out. So now he's one map behind in the best of 3 series. And well, it is the semi-final. It is a best of 3. And if Cruncher doesn't make it here, then he falls. He's just another notch in Happy's belt on the way to victory. Yeah, so Happy defeating Terror on the last map. Now starting with the Death Knight again. And going straight in for a little bit of scouting. I guess we're going to see the Death Knight aggression once more. And from the perspective of Cruncher, the question is, of course, how do you play this? This, by the way, is now the loser's map choice of Cruncher. And this is the same map that he played against Side earlier. And he won that. And he looked pretty good doing it. He went actually into an expansion attempt in that game. Now, after he went for the one-base Rifleman in the previous one, there's a chance that he's actually starting to do that. So let's check that out. Top right, let's have a quick look here. Yep, there we already go. A little bit of creeping happening with the Archmage, and he's moving his bony ass to the right side to try and take those down first. Whereas Happy gets quickly a little bit of scouting going, gets also the first sheep, therefore the first 2 skeletons, and starts to creep as well. But my big question is still, at this point, if we're going to have another attempt by Cruncher to play a one-base tier 3 strategy, or if instead we're having him with another attempt to go straight into an expansion like he did against Side earlier in the same matchup. But since he's starting to pick to the map a little bit, it seems more and more likely that we're actually going to see another tech attempt by him. So, bottom left of the map, there's already a Ziggurat. Happy is playing this safe. No attacks against his economy while he's teching to tier 2. And towards the top right, what are we gonna get? Archmage is starting to move a little bit more aggressively towards the left side. Happy is already now on level 1 and a bit with his Death Knight and gets again Gloves of Haste. So, for the Lich, we're gonna see that come in. And a little bit more creeping here also for Cruncher, who by the way walked away with a Ring of Protection +3. But yeah, so far, pretty slow one. Giant Sea Turtle gets taken down, and what's going on the item side? Gauntlets of August Strength, nice hit points for the Death Knight. It kind of feels like Happy's Death Knight is unkillable anyways. This is going to make it worse. So yeah, it's obviously not a massive... Well, it can be a pretty impactful item one way or another. It's obviously not that you're going to get like an insane item in the early game, but still, as far as items go for the Death Knight, he's going to be pretty happy about this, at least early stage on. That is free experience, and Happy says, oh, thank you, I didn't know it's my birthday today. So he takes that. Archmage is nearly on level 2.5 and is starting to be a bit more aggressive. That also means, of course, that in the top we have now the tech into tier 2 for him as well. And once again, it's Rifleman that we're looking at, with even a tower in case that Happy tries to be a bit cheeky and makes it into the base. But currently, we just have them rush away from this. So let's see if the Archmage with the boots now can pull something off here. They can hide. They can run and they can hide, apparently. It's just like, don't tell anybody. He's looking for us. And he's actually going to find them. Oh, that's going to hurt again. Yep, the Footman already sniffed out, and he's going to be able to take 1 or 2 of them down. A bit of creep going on towards the top with militias only. But yes, that is going to be a bit annoying. The Crypt Fiend also sniffs out the Archmage himself. And yeah, Cruncher. The problem for Cruncher is not only that he will have a tough time keeping all of those Footmen alive, at the same time he won't be able to do anything with them while they are completely split from the Archmage. So this didn't really do too much for him, and Happy was really just trying to hunt them down all over the place. But Cruncher is trying to get that army together a bit. Both of the players are obviously about to complete their tech into tier 2, and then we're going to get the second heroes in. We already have level 2 on both sides, but here's the tech completed. Here comes the Lich, and on the other side we're nearly done, so I guess Mountain King is going to be taken once again for Cruncher, and will then also have the Boots of Speed passed over to him. But there's a bit of creep going on, so Cruncher is actually doing as much as he can to get his hero to a higher level, creeping with Militia, creeping with a Footman alone. And so far, it's actually working. He has level 3. He has the level 2 water elementals. That's going to make it much easier for him to approach the bigger spots on the map. Death Knight is still a fair bit away from the next level here and getting his level 2 coil in, but is taking the Murlocs down. All those Murkies. By the way, these don't respawn. Just in case that you're wondering, if you're coming over from Heroes, that might have been a question here. Footman lost to the creeps too. Well, Tillerman there said already. Everybody loses ghouls every now and then. I would love if I could make the accent, but unfortunately I can't. So, yeah, not quite ghouls, but roughly on the same level. And there's a replenishment potion now. In terms of items, but the Lich is now in. Has also the Gloves of Speed, the Gloves of Haste taken. And the Surround attempt, well, it's not an attempt, it's happy. So yeah, Orgulor gets surrounded and he's trying to take that right away. Archmage already sees that. Yeah, but can he be there in time? I'm not so sure. This one should actually fall. It's actually a good creep check. But there's the Nova, there's the item. He actually gets it on the Lich, but a Fiend goes down. Happy just lost a Fiend. Happy might lose a second Fiend. He loses 2 Fiends. And now the Mountain King is in. Guys, all of a sudden Cruncher is looking pretty sexy here. We have one of the Riflemen barely escaping, so the micro is definitely on point 2 from him. And he forces the Death Knight to a portal. Cruncher is crushing in this fight. He sniffs out the attempt to take the Orgulor down. He goes in, takes 2 Fiends down, surrounds the Death Knight and forces the TP. It doesn't get much better than that. Medallion of Courage, was it worth it? In case that you were actually asking, the answer is of course.
Oh, hell no!
It definitely wasn't. Yeah, that was not worth the item. Great start here for Cruncher. That was actually exactly what he needed to do. So he is able to set the creep check up. 36 supply now against 41, and Cruncher feels pretty good. And pretty good translates immediately into him going for some bigger camps as well. Ah, loses a militia here though. Needs to be careful that he doesn't lose another one. Loses 2 militias. Ah, it's like the 3rd unit that he loses to creeps. I was busy a little bit at the bottom here, trying to get something done with the Archmage and harassing Happy even more. But yeah, it comes at a cost, and I'm not really sure if that's worth it. Currently, it seems like the creeps are Cruncher's biggest enemy in this game. So, yep, there we go. Let's have a little bit of a quick look to the bottom left. How is Happy dealing with all of this? He has a Death Knight on level 3 now. The Lich is about to hit level 2. We have the tech into tier 3 completed. Of course, Destroyers are joining us now. And as a 3rd hero, he moved into the Dark Ranger every single time. And let's see if he can do that again. At this point, there's the attack right there towards the top left. Even more experience for him. The Mountain King wants level 3. And with the tech into Castle also completed, it's time for the Paladin again. Also more creeping at the bottom. Still no town portal board, by the way, for Happy. So if he can at some point put the Death Knight under pressure again, maybe put a surround up, maybe get a little bit of nuking going, that would limit Happy's options to move out of the fight for sure. Orb of Corruption on level 3 has also been taken now, of course. And towards the top left, he wants level 3. He gets level 3. Has a Wand of Mana Stealing as well. Cruncher is all of a sudden in a position where he says, oh boy, I might actually have a chance here. Again, frog, by the way.
Player's forces are under attack.
Scouts at the bottom a little bit. Happy, of course, wants bigger items now. Happy is going straight in for that Red Drake. He wants that Red Drake item. And Cruncher is starting to move down, but he doesn't have any idea of what's going on over there. So he's actually going into the middle, trying to get some additional experience for him. But that means that Happy gets the item over here. And will definitely grab that. It's already luring everything out. But here comes the Paladin, so triple hero now against triple hero. Yep, the Dark Ranger has joined the fun, and so did the Paladin. The Boots of Khaldor. I mean, good for the Dark Ranger here. At least boosts her primary attribute a little bit, but for the rest of the 3 heroes, not so much. There's the 3 for the Lich, so the level 2 Nova is in. He realizes he's a little bit too late to the fun, but there's the level up. Level 2 for the Paladin. So, with a 3 on the Mountain King and the Bash now coming in, the Paladin, if he can get to 3-2, there's some serious nuking going on in this one. Supply-wise, both of them still in no upkeep. 46 against 49. Hoarding some gold here. And it's time to go for some action. No upgrades so far on the Rifleman down here. Here comes the Stormbolt, there's the Holy Light, and that's a kill. Another Fiend goes down. Happy might have just lost more Fiends in this one than he lost in the entire tournament, just saying. Silence is in. Dark Ranger already proving to be a little bit useful, as once again we're having the fight coming through, and Happy really needs to employ that godlike micro of his now if he really wants to win this one. But he takes already Priest down, drops another Rifleman, Dark Minions everywhere. Good save on the Dark Ranger with a Death Coil as she's getting focused by his opponent. 48 supply for Happy, 39 only for Cruncher. Cruncher is getting crunched in this one. And he TPs out, loses so much here. Footman after Footman, one Priest after another. And oh boy, Happy again, 45 supply against 38. Happy looking good once more. Hero levels also at this point starting to slowly tick into his favor. Has definitely more XP, quite a few of those. And, well, for Cruncher, this is bad times now. Skeletons are making it all the way up towards the top. There's another attempt to double check what's happening here with the Goblin Laboratory. But, damn. Yeah, he even gets his Zeppelin. We're going to see some drop action in this game now too. So he's going to start to drop into the base. Same time as we have Cruncher on the left side trying to go for the Red Drake. Get a little bit more experience to maybe get that Paladin finally to level 3. But Happy is doing what he does. Cruncher might have lost a couple too many units, honestly, to creep camps while he was trying to harass with the Archmage at the same time. Always tricky, but now he's losing units in the main base. The Arcane Tower is already down. That's the third peasant that was busted down. The fourth one, level 4 for the Death Knight. There's no mining anymore. Cruncher is absolutely falling victim to Happy again. Happy is mining, Cruncher isn't. There is no income anymore for the human player, and he's in trouble. He's starting to lose farms. He doesn't have a town portal. He's slowly making his way back. He has decent items here with the Staff of Sanctuary, but now funneling into the main base is also another big problem for him. Trying to go for the Lich here maybe, but even that doesn't really work out. Gets the Stormbolt through, but that Death Knight is just sitting tight and saying, boy, what are you gonna do? I'm gonna have my Zeppelin here. I don't even need to use mana for you. There's Gauntlets of August Strength that he could steal away now too if he sees it. But Cruncher is in so much trouble now. Happy already has the 1-0 lead against his opponent, but now he's not only 13 supply ahead, he's just looking at a fantastic advantage overall. In the main base, we have now Temple of the Damned. We have also, besides that, +2 upgrades on attack for the Fiends. And yeah, he's getting everything that he needs there. It can drop also over here towards the fountain, where Cruncher tried to take the Red Drake down. He can't even do that. He's trying to do it now in the second attempt, but that Red Drake is likely falling by the time that he is there. So that's another item in the hands of his opponent, or not. As he's thinking about taking that fight, he wants that Red Drake, but he might not be able to get it. Has to portal out, actually. Portals out, and yeah, Cruncher forced the TP and gets the item and gets the experience. Lined Horn of Stormwind. Are you kidding me? The Parlor Aura for Cruncher. Doesn't get any better here. There's still a harass in the main base, by the way, with the Destroyers. Cruncher at 42, and jeez, I mean, this is more experience for Happy. He's destroying his opponent's economy completely, and this is just rough. It's really rough. 50 supply for Happy. He had to bail out and use the town portal. Now he's the double Gauntlets of August Strength, which puts the Death Knight to 1,100 hit points. Top side, the Archmage is on level 4, but yeah, it's rough. Cruncher is... I mean, seriously, what at this point, what can he actually do? He needs to get a nuke in against Happy somehow, but first of all, we have the anti-magic shell now through the Banshee. We also haven't really seen Happy lose any heroes really throughout the game, because he's just always there with the coil, with the protect, has a couple of items ready or whatnot, and yeah, it's getting more than a little bit problematic. The Dark Ranger is on level 3 too, which of course means that the silence has been upgraded. Actually, what am I talking about? The arrow has been upgraded. We're seeing Dark Minions now. So the way that he's been focusing one unit down after another, that is going to make it even more tricky for Cruncher in the game. Cruncher has a 50 supply army again, so we shouldn't really count him out yet. But again, it's rough. +3 attack for the Crypt Fiends on Happy's side. They're going to rip those backline casters apart within seconds. And with 60 supply, Happy has now also crossed over into the low upkeep. And you can already tell that Cruncher is just like sitting tight right now and saying like, well, how am I going to play this now? Happy has been scouting the top. That's actually the Zeppelin over there, making sure that there's nothing that can be built without his knowledge, and is now starting to eliminate the scout farms on the map to also limit the vision of his opponent. 64 supply for him at this point, 50 for Cruncher. Has decent items. I mean, he has the Potion of Lesser Invulnerability here. We have the Staff of Sanctuary. Also, of course, the Orb of Fire, as already seen previously. Storm Bolt, but even that didn't do the trick here. No expansion for Happy yet either, because the Water Elemental was sent down and shut that down pretty quickly. But there's just scouting happening all over the place. Even supply block now. Cruncher supply blocked on 51. That's always a bad sign. But you look at the economy, and there's still 3,700 in the gold mine of Cruncher, whereas Happy has a little bit less in his. But is obviously attempting to build himself a new base here. He's a little bit hesitant. I mean, again, he wants to build his army up a little bit more. And has now an armor upgrade too. These fiends are just absolutely on crack now. 1 attack upgrade for the Rifleman. It's all that Cruncher has against 3-1 upgrades. AMS on the units. And here comes Happy. This is a fight that he wants. This is a fight that he gets. Inner Fire gets dispelled immediately. There's the silence from the Dark Ranger. He tries to take it down with a Nova and starts to focus a unit after another. Massive upgrades for the units on Happy's side, and he's putting it to good use. Once again, another Rifleman dies and immediately gets replaced by a Dark Minion here. The Focus Fire is just crushing it. Staff of Sanctuary saves another one, but even more falling here. And that means Dark Minions all over the place, with the Priests having their hands full and dispelling every single one of them as quickly as he can. Happy on 64 supply. Cruncher on 40. This is going to be a 2-0. Unless there's a miracle, the human player is going to lose this one too. Level 4 on the Lich, and this is just a cleanup job now for Happy. The Russian player comes in, takes down his human opponent in the semi-final, and will move onwards to the grand final. There's just no way from Cruncher to come back into this. An expansion is built at the same time for Happy. The entire army is pretty much cleaned up. 32 supply. The heroes are left, but they are getting focused now too. There's no town portal on the side of him. He has a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability, but that's pretty much all that he can put to the test now, and he's going to get wrecked here. Yep. That's already the Archmage about to fall, and the same is going to happen to the Paladin in just a moment. Archmage actually gets another quick heal, and there's the GG as Cruncher accepts defeat, and a 2-0 victory for Happy brings him to the grand final. GG, and well played.